Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Mase.
I'm Mex.
And welcome to the Underground. All right, so this is another one in our series where we highlight a part of one of our collections, and Mex is going to take us through a subset of his collection. Beautiful pieces here, and I think you'll really enjoy this.
Yeah, so, this is not, when I started collecting watches, this is definitely not a place I thought I'd end up. Like most folks in our generation, I was fixated on sports watches. I wanted things that kind of reflected my lifestyle. We gradually, worked into a zone where we're not doing formal things. We're not wearing tuxedos. We're not even wearing suits. Why do I need a dress watch? Well, I'll tell you why. Because if you guys remember 2020, 2021, you couldn't touch a lot of steel sports watches like APs, Vacherons, Rolexes. And so I went into this part of the market. And actually, again, I'll tell you, these three pieces I'm going to highlight today bring me an immense amount of joy. Not only when I look at my collection, but when I put them on and I wear them. So the first one I want to show you guys is this. It's potentially, we can call this an icon in the vintage world. It's my Universal Genève Tri-Compax. This I think is a reference 22543. Again, it's a triple calendar chronograph. This model, if I'm not mistaken, is powered by the 287 caliber. It's an in-house Universal Genève caliber. Stainless steel case, right? Which for me, it was at a better price point when I bought this in early 2020. So actually pre-pandemic. I was lucky because these really took off in price. Has nice gold, what they call fuel hands, very delicate kind of gold leaf hands. Date wheel in Italian. And I'll tell you, if you get some of that really amazing crunch still, right? I bought this from a reputable dealer, GRAIL in Switzerland. Again, we talked about this in Mace's video. Condition is critical. And I wanted to make sure, again, this is a watch from the late 1940s, right? It's even older than we are, a lot older, okay? You need to ask questions around condition, around the original nature of some of the parts. And I felt like, again, because when you look on Chrono, when you look for these watches, it's easy to find things that are restored or replaced. And I felt like most of this watch was still original, and you really get kind of the true DNA of a Tri-Compax in this guy. So really love, that Chrono is actually still moving. We can reset it and then get it going again. But for me, this was a true door opener to the world of vintage kind of dress watches.
This is such a beautiful piece. The dial has so much going on here, but it all kind of fits together, beautifully detailed. The way that you highlighted the blue in the watch by choosing the right strap for that really kind of pulls the blue off the dial. Incredible moon phase complication there as well. It's just an incredibly handsome watch that you've got there.
Thank you, Mace. And it's a great point, several great points, right? That probably worth highlighting further, right? So again, it's Tri-Compax, there's a lot of things happening here. So this diameter of this watch case is 37.
The so-called jumbo.
Yeah, exactly, so-called beautiful. There's a reference set around a 35 millimeter Tri-Compax. And that's just too darn busy, right? I think 37, not only is it wearable in modern contexts, but it gives enough real estate to flex all those things that you're talking about. In terms of the strap, I also appreciate Mace's aesthetic taste on calling out this strap. It's custom made by Aaron of Bespoke Straps in Montreal. So it's a kind of a distressed alligator, which kind of give it a good pairing with a watch that's by now 80 years old. And that's a good segue for the second watch in the collection, which is a Patek. I believe it to be a reference 1595, but this is something we'll talk about a little later because I think Mace gave me a little research project here for the channel. But the strap here, it's a green Croco strap that's also made by Aaron in Montreal. This particular piece, it's a vintage piece from the 50s. Again, still nice crunch. It was probably babied during its life. It's a simple time-only watch, but has the small seconds complication. 35 millimeters. So again, probably average size for the time. But what makes it, for me, what makes it very wearable are these kind of bullhorn lugs. I also bought this from an auction from the folks in Antiquorum in Switzerland. And again, I'll try to see if I can get this on the wrist, because those lugs, it just gives it such a nice wrist presence, even though it's at, technically at 35 millimeters. So I don't know if you can see that in there, but again, just nice coverage, super elegant. I love the Roman numerals at the 12, 3, and 9 positions. Really have a nice, it's almost enamel-esque, the dial, kind of porcelainate. It's not porcelain, but it has that kind of real linen look from a color standpoint, not from a texture standpoint, but I like this watch. It's a gold watch from the 50s, but it's not flashy. Again, for me, I really like this piece a lot.
Yeah, I mean, by comparison to the Universal Genève, right, it's understated. But the way that you've paired it with the green and the gold go really well. The lugs are really fantastic. They give it such character. You mentioned the small seconds complication. That was kind of a prominent complication of that time, right? We don't always see the small seconds highlighted as much these days. So it's nice to kind of have that throwback in this particular model.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, Mace. And I think it's I don't know what we can call it, but for me, it's so much better than it just having a third hand ticking away. Aesthetically, I think you captured it perfectly. It's very elegant, very understated. So talking about this research project that I'm about to embark on, I recently visited Philippe's auction house, where they were doing a preview for one of their upcoming watch auctions, and I was wearing this watch. One of the watch experts I met actually said that this watch may be pre-1940 because of the way the Patek Philippe and Company is called out on the watch. So that just under the 12 o'clock, it says Patek Philippe and Company, and he said that actually after the war, they stopped. They just put Patek Philippe. So it's something to look out for. Again, I'll start doing some research and maybe visiting my local watchmaker to dig a little deeper into this watch, and I'll bring that to you shortly. We talked about a watch that is very subtle and very understated, and now we kind of have something that's very opposite of that. This is the Lange Söhne reference .032. It is the Lange 1 time zone. Okay, so this is a big boy. I mean, it's a big boy certainly in terms of when we match it up against the previous two watches that we looked at. This is nearly 42 millimeters in diameter, 41.9 millimeters to be exact. It's pink gold. It's powered by the Lange, I think it's the L141.1 movement. It's kind of second generation time zone, world time watch. This is an animal, this watch, right? This is a horological animal, but super blingy, right? And pink gold. I think it's, again, when you think about a dress watch, right? I think this checks a lot of the boxes. The pink gold is just super elegant and beautiful, but I have to admit, this does not get the type of wrist time that the other two pieces do, right? So in fact, I'll put it on right now because this is typically the environment in which I'm wearing the watch in the house. Much like the previous owner of Mace's Datura.
Right. And before the video started here, and kind of reintroduced myself to each of these watches in Mex's collection here. And when I put down the Patek and then grabbed the Lange Söhne, the heft, as you would imagine, it's both diameter and by thickness. It dwarfs the other two watches, but the heft. And a lot of that is due to kind of the materials used, but also the way in which all of those complications are kind of stacked together within that movement. You really feel it when it's on your wrist.
100%. And that's the thing. Look, guys, that's one of the reasons why they didn't make watches this big, right? Back then, particularly in precious metal, because these are heavy. Yeah. This is a really beautiful piece. So I'll show you the movement, which is obviously critical to the ownership experience of a Lange. I mean, just absolutely beautiful piece in the collection. And yes, it's again, we have to confront the you know, the 500-pound gorilla in the room. This is a flex piece, right? This is, you know, I guess it's a true dress watch, but not appropriate for every environment, right?
Yeah, so how thick is this?
So this is, I mean, you'd think with a world time movement, you'd have some girth, and again, it's thicker than your average watch, but this is really only 10.9 millimeters, Mase, right? So again, we'll get it on the wrist.
You know, 10.9 really is still pretty thin in the world of where I'm collecting a lot of chronos, right? Dive watches tend to be pretty thick, right? So that they can test those, you know, 300 meters, 500
Correct.
meters, whatever depths they're going to.
Yeah, no, you're right, Mase. I mean, it's super wearable, really. I mean, it does not feel like a disc on your wrist. It just sits there. I mean, you feel, as Mase highlighted earlier, I mean, you do feel the heft of the gold, but that's what you're feeling. It's not because the case is an awkward dimension, right? And the lugs just really kind of pull it tighter to the wrist. Wonderful fit. Again, I just wish I could wear it more. I wish I had more occasion to wear it more.
The so cold beautiful.
That's right. This is for sure.
That is a beauty.
So there you have it, guys. I mean, that's, you know, these are also a very special corner of my collection. I hope you enjoyed this journey. Not sure if you own any of these pieces or you're thinking about owning any of them, but let us know in the comments below your reactions. Would you own them? Do you hate us?
If you do hate us, then
bye. So let us know in the comments below what you thought, and we'll catch you in the next one.
bye bye.